Hey, Static, what's up? I guess we don't really need slow mode for this one, do we? Alright, slow mode is off. There you go. Now we can really rock and roll. Alright, here we go. John wants to know. Yeah, we're going to try again Pacific Northwest. We're going to see if it craps out this time. We will see. Evening, Nolan. Evening, Diddy. Hey, Random, how are you? Alright. I'm going to keep half an eye on the stream, but yep, pretty late, Perry Earl. But I always try to go to bed with an empty inbox, and tonight is going to be no different. 95 messages to go. Can we do it? I would love to also stream my music for you guys, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. So we're just gonna, you can put on whatever music you think I'm listening to. You can put on whatever music you think I'm listening to. Here, this is what I'm listening to. I don't know what you could. Is there a way I can share my daily mix to you guys? Share. Copy playlist link. Can I really do that? No kidding. Here you go. You can watch. You can listen to the same playlist I'm listening to, if you want to, without getting copy struck. All right, here we go. John wants to know. I have a trivial question. I am going to buy Rapid Fire in the very near future, but in the meantime, I wonder what can I expect with the Crossfire system and the Unified Pro running a Foxeer Lollipop on the drone and goggles with 2.5 gain. I consistently get between 1 and 1.5 miles. 1 and 1. That's pretty good. I do now and then run into some interference. Pretty much cannot drop below 150 feet. Yeah, no, that's normal. Will Rapid Fire give a more reliable signal over distance? What is he using now? He's using... He doesn't say what module he's using now. Alright, here we go. Hi, John. You don't say what module you're using now, so I can't be 100% sure, but Rapid Fire is one of the best, if not the best, analog receiver module available. So I feel pretty confident that it would be an upgrade to whatever you're using now. You're getting pretty impressive range for any 5.8 gigahertz FPV system. So congratulations. Congratulations, I guess. Yeah. The best way to improve the range of your system is to have a higher output power from the VTX. I know there are people out there who will say the antennas are where you should focus, and I guess they're right. But personally, I would start with a good quality VTX at 1 watt or higher, such as Rush, Tank Solo, Unify Pro 32, Pro 32, and so forth. Okay, that's a fine answer. Or I tell him to go digital. Right, Lethal Bard. I tell him to go digital. I'm not going to do that. Oh, here's an easy one. Gone. All right. Next, Robert Jensen. By the way, I would love to show you guys the actual emails, but I would leak email addresses, and I kind of don't think that's a good idea. So I'm going to try not to do that. But you can see the subject lines as I work my way through, and you can see the live count. You can see the live count of the number of emails in my inbox. Unread emails. Well, let's see how fast I go through them. I'm pretty quick when I'm not talking to the chat. Robert Jensen wants to know, I know this is probably something you get asked a lot, but how do I get my transmitter and receiver to bind? I've watched a lot of videos, yada, yada, yada. None of it's working. I bought a Sharkbite quad. CL1 Sharkbite with the goggles, no transmitter for Rotor Riot, the transmitter from Get FPV. Bought a new receiver, thinking that the one that Rotor Riot put in the quad was bad. Probably wasn't. Rotor Riot probably tested it before they shipped it. Transmitter's a Tyrannus QX7 Access. The receiver is an RXSR. I flashed it. When I try and bind it, I get a solid green light. I don't know if I have the right firmware on my transmitter anymore. Okay, hi, Rob. If you have a solid green light on the RXSR, then probably the receiver is bound. Oops, I got a spelling error there. Receiver is bound. Oh my God, what little lounge nonsense is this? Schwartz and Funk, Diamonds of Lounge. Oh, there you go. No, we're going to be skipping that song. Okay. A good test is to turn off the controller and see if the green light on the RXSR changes to a blinking red light, which would confirm. What is... No, this playlist has gone way downhill. Okay, here we go. That's better. Okay, that's better. Went in a weird direction there. Which, okay, the light would go red, which would confirm that the RXSR was bound to the QX7. Okay. So then the next thing to do is to get movement in the Beta Flight Receiver tab. That would mean, damn it, I'm thinking typos, mean that the flight controller was seeing signal from the receiver. Most likely, Rotor Riot tested the quad before they shipped it to you, so I would hesitate to make too many changes to the quad, since you might just be making things worse. What receiver was in the quad when they shipped it? By the way, it's likely the receiver they shipped didn't have access firmware on it, and that may have been why it wouldn't bind for your access radio. But then again, he could have just bound in D16 mode, so never mind. All right, that's a fine answer. We'll move it on. Wait, did I just delete his email by accident? No, that was the right one. Okay, that one's done. Does the Mamba F405 V2 support 3D? This question doesn't make any sense. Hi, Ryder. All modern ESC, modern quadcopter ESCs support bidirectional mode, which allows for 3D flying, parentheses, flying upside down. Yep, so the answer is yes. Oh, and you know what else? Tiny Whoop, 3D, Joshua, Bardwell. Yep, there's my video about setting up 3D mode. Here's a video where I show how to set it up. Bingo. I always try to link to a video when I can. Let's see. Robert Holland, thank you for $2. Best DJI toothpick. It's got to be a naked baby tooth that you have to build yourself. But what are you going to do? Naked Vista in a baby tooth. If you want to bind and fly, I don't know. TX16S not working after Windows update. Any help? Check the drivers in the device manager and roll back the driver if you need to. Some parts of Tennessee are in Central Time, Perry Earl. Yeah, Pilot Extreme. You probably have the better USB problem. What you have to do is you have to roll back the driver, and if the driver in the device manager, and if the driver won't roll back, delete the driver, let Windows install it. Windows will then update the driver, and then you can roll back the driver, and that'll fix it. Here's a message from Jason. Mobula 6 smart audio not working. He sent me this message on Monday, 2 days ago. Well, 1 day ago. And then he fixed the problem with a firmware update, and the problem is solved, so my life is easy. I will still reply to him because I always try to reply to people. Hey there, Jason. Sorry I couldn't get back to you sooner. Glad you solved the problem, and thanks for passing the solution along to me. Joshua. Bing. Done. Delete. Oh. Here's one from Matt Jones. His Crossfire Nano was not working. I told him to check whether he reversed the TX and RX wires. He did. It solved the problem. Message deleted. Counting them down, boys. This person, Chad Dalton, had a question about what soldering iron tip I use. I answered him. He replied saying basically a little bit more information and thanks, but no new question. Done. Joey Cataldo wants to know about my FPV drone budget build. Can I use my Rotorite run cam on the flight controller that's included in the pack? And can you use an XT60 pre-soldered capacitor? Yeah. No, that's... He says, sorry if these are dumb questions. I'm still kind of new. Hey there, Joey. Don't ever apologize for dumb questions. You gotta be dumb before you can be smart, right? You can use basically any FPV camera in that build. They all plug in pretty much the same. And if the XT60 capacitor is good enough for Vanover, it's good enough for me. Good luck with your build. Joshua. Let's see here. Nah, just I figured as long as I was going to be up at 2 in the morning, it only feels like 1 in the morning because of the time change. As long as I was going to be up at 2 in the morning answering emails, we'd make a gig out of it. 95 emails is a lot of freaking emails. This message is a reply to my mailing list email. No response required. So, boom, it's done. Count it down, baby. Here's a question from Jared Gilderblom. They're building the Xylo beginner build, and they're having problems with the receiver getting bound. I've checked his wiring. His wiring looks good. And I asked him for a picture of his ports tab, which was correct. I don't know. I'm going to have to put this one aside. I'm not sure what to say about this one right this second. I gotta look back, and I'm kind of stumped on this one, to be honest with you. So I'm going to just put it aside for now and get back to it and when I can think about what I could say. Zach Damberger from Canada is having a funny issue with his quad. He can't seem to fix none of my videos have had what he's looking for. Kakute F7 stack. Yeah, thank you. He says search it up on GetFPV. I'm familiar with it. I wrote the manual for that. I don't know the exact name or ESC of the ESC or VTX. The issue is my quad is a slow drift clockwise, along with a slight forward rotation. In Betaflight, in the first tab, the setup tab, it's just normal, but in the rates and receiver tab, it's drifting. Okay. Hi, Zach. The issue you're describing, where the quadcopter drifts in the rates tab, but not in the setup tab, means that the channels, that means that the, means that the, channels coming from your controller are not perfectly centered, so the flight controller thinks you're pushing the sticks when you really aren't. The thing to do is use the subtrim function in your radio to center the channels at 1500. While you're at it, center the channels at 1500. Or as close to 1500 as you can get in your receiver tab. What's his controller? He doesn't say what his controller is. If you tell me what controller you have, I can... No, let's not do that, because what if he doesn't have an OpenTX controller? I'm going to guess you probably have an OpenTX controller. If, semicolon, if so, then go to the outputs screen, and that's where subtrim is. Okay. Done. Beta flight question from Robert. The flight controller disconnects from USB whenever he plugs in the battery. That's bad. And the flight controller gets very hot within just a few seconds. I'm really sorry, Robert, but the fact that the FC gets really hot in just a few seconds probably means it's dead. Yeah, no, it's not overheating and shutting down. It has a short circuit internally. What I would do is desolder, I cannot type the word desolder, everything from it in case there is a short in one of the peripherals. Peripherals, it probably isn't because the flight controller gets hot. But then if it still happens, it's just dead. And you have to replace it. Now he's going to ask why it's dead. What do we got? FCC, this is a news item. I'm going to just, so this is a news item for about another DJI product. I'm just going to forward it straight to Blunty. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm going to forward it straight to Blunty. If it's interesting, he'll tell me about it. Boom, message deleted. Let me check the chat here real quick. Nope. How many ales deep? None. None ales deep at this moment. 84 messages to go. I just finished watching your very engaging DJI FPV review video. This is from Len Han. I will buy this drone off using your affiliate link. Oh, thank you. I'm looking for the most immersive being there experience I can find. DJI FPV looks like a big breakthrough in this area. Blah, blah, blah. Has the pilot, blah, blah, blah. It's so fragile and hard to repair. Yes, I agree. So do you know of anyone who intends to build a replacement carbon fiber frame on it? Or, yeah. Hi, Len. Oh, hi, Len. I do know of at least one person who says they are developing an aftermarket carbon fiber frame for the DJI FPV drone. I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for that, though. You never know. If you want to get into FPV today and you are not scared off by having to build and learn beta flight and all that nonsense, then use one of my build tutorials. Yeah, such as my Xylo beginner build. Yeah, that's a fine suggestion, right? There is, he asked about HD. There is an HD version that uses the DJI FPV system. Let me find a link to that for him. YouTube, Joshua Bardwell, beginner, build, HD. Yeah. Budget build, full tutorial. Where's the playlist? Give me the playlist. No. Where's the playlist? There we go. Well, just give him... I know what. I'll give him the Get a PV product page. That's it. Yeah, there it is. Boom. Okay. Here's the link to the product page. Is DJI going to release an Air V2 kit soon? Nobody knows. There haven't been any leaks to that effect, but it would certainly make sense for them to do that. Okay, done. We're out of here. Twitch user. Yeah, no, there's no content or value here. I'm just answering my emails. That's all this is. Just chill. Just chill, man. Get out of here if this isn't for you. Oh, he's just a troll. All right, he's done. Bye. Anyway. Oh, you need some of that. You need some of that smooth, smooth music I'm listening to get you in the right mindset. All right, here we go. Jonathan Ward is asking about Sharkbite versus DJI. What size and kV motor would be good for 6-inch? I think you could do 6-inch on any common FPV motor like 2407 or like 2306 or 2207, but a slightly bigger motor like 2208 or 2407 would probably be ideal. Yeah, okay. Shoot for about the same kV as a 5-inch prop. 2400 kV for 4S or 1700-ish kV for 6S, but skew a little towards the lower end of the scale for 6-inch props. Oh. Fox FPV wants to know, do you think the DJI FPV drone is a good investment for small production videos to make money off of? Fox FPV, the professional who's going to benefit from the DJI FPV drone will be someone like a Peter McKinnon. Peter McKinnon in his video said, I like to shoot content. I don't like to build, solder, etc. So he just wants an Acro-E drone that he doesn't have to think about maintaining, and he has tons of money. The DJI FPV drone is perfect for him. If you're a professional like a Paul Nurkala or a Tommy Tibahia who knows how to build, then don't buy the DJI drone. Just build your own. You're going to get better performance and it's going to be less expensive, but your time has value. If you're a professional who flies Mavics and other DJI drones and Inspires, and you want to add an Acro-style drone, or then the DJI FPV drone could fit in there. You have the money, and your time is worth more than the money you would spend on it. But don't crash it, because it'll just die. But that's true for all your other drones, too, so it's no big deal. Let's see. Boom. All right, here we go. Question about DJI Goggles V2 audience mode. I answered it. He came back and said, thanks. Boom. Message gone. Person asking for a power supply recommendation. I answered it. He said, thank you. Boom. Done. Gone. Joseph Ballard says, I've heard from a friend who lives close to you in Knoxville, which I'm in Alabama. I'm wanting some information on a meetup or FPV events. I don't have anything like that. I've never ever seen anyone fly an FPV drone near my town. Okay, so what I do whenever somebody asks me about finding a local chapter is I go to the MultiGP website and I look for the chapter map. And this guy's in Alabama. Ooh, this guy's in Alabama. Looks like there's here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to, where is he? Hang on, I don't want you guys to see his email. He is in Cullman, Alabama. Where is Cullman, Alabama? Let's look on a map. Maps. What's the nearest big city to Cullman, Alabama? I'm just going to zoom out here. Cullman is in the north. So now we'll go to the chapter map. It looks like Cullman is... How far is Cullman from Huntsville? Cullman's pretty far from Huntsville, but it's the closest... Huntsville and Birmingham both have chapters. Huntsville, okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him a link to the Huntsville chapter. Hi, Joseph. I think one of the best ways to find local FPV pilots is to find a multi-GP racing chapter. There is one chapter. The closest chapters to Cullman seem to be Huntsville and Birmingham, which are probably a ways from you. But I bet if you get in contact with them, they can find people closer to you. Here are links to their multi-GP chapter pages. There's the Huntsville one and the Birmingham one. The keyboard is a Ducky. Do you know the Ducky? If you recognize the Ducky just from this image, I'm impressed. It's a very good one. I mean, I like it. It's got browns. It's got browns in it, if that matters. I wanted blues, but blues are no good for streaming. I like it, though. It's a really good keyboard. I'm a very big fan of it. I tried like 5 different keyboards and sent them all back before I found this one that I like. I really abused their return policy. Okay. Joseph Ballard, you are out of here. Wasps fire spraying drone in China. Okay. I don't know if that's exactly news. I think I'm going to pass on that one. I'm not sure that's news. Yeah, Browns, the blues are amazing. The blues are amazing, but they're too loud. All right. Talking to Paul about going on his podcast. That message is on pause, though, so that's done. We got a question from John Smith. We're down to 78 messages. We've been streaming for... Oh, we got another super chat. Flap Around FPV, thanks for $5 super chat. Try flashing the new open source ESC firmware, or just wait until some dedicated hardware is released. Personally, I'm going to wait. Flashing it with I mean, it just depends on how scared you are of that fiddly flashing. I would just wait. Texas, I mean, it's up to you. Flashing with a programmer, little pokey things, meh. Max Sandoval, do you think SharkBite will ever be as good as DJI? It depends on how you define good. If you mean, connected with the FPV community, it can, and there are other ways that SharkBite will be good, but in terms of pure image quality and range, I don't think there's any way to beat DJI's R&D money. Just don't think it's possible. Yeah, the Ducky's a good keyboard. I'm happy. I love it. I love it. It's a very good keyboard. The Snow Fox keyboard. What's the Snow Fox keyboard? Bluetooth? Oh, see, I'm a 104 key guy though. I like my numpad. I don't want to go. Is there a 104 key option? I would want a 104 key option. So, Texas APV, thanks for a $2 super chat. Fat Shark has good communication with the FPV community. It seems like they're trying to be more responsive. They have been a little bit unresponsive in the past. Feels like they're seems like they're feeling the pressure a little bit. John Smith says, I used your YouTube videos to build and set up my drone on Betaflight 10.6.0. 10.6.0, that's his configurator version, but okay. I built a 7-inch latest configurator is 10.7. I built a 7-inch Mr. Croc Flywood drone using the following hardware. There's a list of hardware. The drone fails to arm from my Jumper T16. All 4 motors do spin in Betaflight. The drone is paired because the Nano lights up solid green. I can control all the gimbals in Betaflight. Okay, so let's see where he's at. He's got a bound receiver, and he says he can move the gimbals in Betaflight. That suggests that Betaflight is seeing the signal, but he can't arm. So, hi, John. I think you're on the right track with the GPS being the thing preventing arming. I always try and compliment people if they've done troubleshooting on their own, and the troubleshooting is correct. I think they probably. I always like to tell people they're doing a good job. Go to the setup tab in Betaflight and look for the arming status flags there. They are in the upper right, in the right-hand column at the top. You will see the MSP flag anytime you're connected to the configurator, you may also see the GPS flag. If so, then that confirms the GPS is preventing arming. There is an option in the failsafe tab to allow arming without GPS fix, but if you do this, GPS functions like return to home won't work until you land. There we go. Yeah, good question. Did he set up aux modes? You're right. I jumped past that. My guess is that he did. It felt like he probably did. So, we'll see if he... Oh, shut up. No, my desk is dusty. Oh my God. What are you going to do? People getting on your ass. Oh, your pool is dirty. Oh, your yard needs to be mowed. Oh, your fingernails aren't clean. Shut up. Shut up. Please. God almighty. Come clean my house. Come clean my house. Go ahead. It's 2 in the morning and I'm answering emails. You want to know why my desk isn't dusted? That's why. All right, that one's answered. Done. So this guy found a problem. Oh, fascinating. Oh, wow. So this guy had problems with some props. The quad would shudder when he and the motors were hot. It turns out his moon goat arms were crooked. There's play in the arms. Wow. I'm going to forward this to Tommy and see if he has anything to add. Do I have Tommy's email? Oh my goodness. I don't have his email. Dang. Oh well. Wow. I probably would not have caught that. Oh yeah, the props were touching each other. Hey there, Tim. Great troubleshooting. I would really never have guessed that. I mean, if it was my quad, I probably would have figured it out eventually, like you did. In fact, this has happened to me before, but over the internet, no way I would have thought of it. Glad you figured it out. Done. Tommy, oh my God, the inventor of the moon goat. What's the little black thing on my desk? It's my my headphones, my wireless headphones. Props don't make noise when they touch. Yeah, I guess they do. It's hard to troubleshoot that kind of thing over the internet, though. They're like, oh, my motors are hot, and I'm having problems. Like, it's just, you're not going to guess that the arms are crooked and the props are touching. Thank you, Miguel Mendoza, for a $10 super chat. Love your videos. Awesome content. Thank you, sir. They're not AirPods. They are the Razer Hammerhead Pro V2, I think. Whatever the latest Razer Hammerhead. They're very good. I like them. I got a message here from Fernando Federico. It's a reply to my newsletter sign up. Just a little bit of personal information. Just ask people to tell me about themselves. Should I study and practice FPV flying? Yeah. Hi, Fernando. I definitely suggest that you practice a lot in a simulator before you try to fly in acro mode. The DJI FPV... I gotta switch this music. This music is killing me. Stargazer. I kind of like it. Oh, it's hearted too. It's not the right music for this live stream though. Sorry you guys can't hear the music. I don't want to get a copyright violation. The DJI FPV drone is pretty safe to fly in normal and sport modes as long as you use a little common sense. All right. Got a message here from Keith Alstrom, who is trying to get his receiver working with his DJI Air unit. GEP-RC, no gyro. What did he do to get no gyro? Hi, Keith. The no gyro warning is the most severe one that we have to solve. The whole FC won't work as long as you have no gyro status. Did you... I see. Since no gyro started after you flashed the hex file from GEP-RC, my guess is they sent you the wrong file and or the wrong CLI dump for your flight controller. Wait, but the receiver tab was working. It's weird that the receiver would work, but you would have no gyro. I think you have to go back to GEP-RC and make sure they sent you the right firmware target for your flight controller. There we go. Thank you. I'm looking fine from up high. Yeah. Yep, wrong target would be my guess, too. Will I be checking live stream chat? Beantime, I'm not on the Discord right now. I'm just answering emails. As long as Alex Garcia, as long as I'm answering emails, I'm glad to have some company. I type at about 120 to 140 words per minute. All right. Donovan wants to buy some goggles from me. I don't have any goggles. Now, Donovan is impressed that I responded at all. If you email me and I answer you, play it cool. Don't be like, I can't believe you responded. You emailed me. I responded. You're cool. You emailed me. I'm cool. I responded. Play it off. Play it off. It's not a big deal. Can't believe you answered. Now I feel weird. All right. So that's just thank you for answering and blah. Okay, done. Question about why people don't use Velcro on their batteries, why people use grip instead, or rubber. The answer to me is that this is the wrong playlist. I have to pick another playlist. This is terrible. I'm going to Daily Mix 3. Daily Mix 5 is not working for me. Daily Mix 4. We're going to do Daily Mix 4 now. See if it treats me a little better. Where is my... All right, let's see if this... Where's my freaking playlist? All right. All right, hang on. I'll give you guys share, copy, playlist link. Here's the new playlist if you want to listen along with me. I use rubber pad instead of Velcro because I don't want to put Velcro on all my batteries. That's the answer. Boom, done. We're down to 72. KWE FPV, I'm a big fan of the channel from England. I got an idea for a future video of yours. Watching Rotor Riot, blah, blah. Talk about we know the quad is one crash away. If you have a spare DJI quad, you should put it on a carbon fiber frame. What a great video that would make. Yep. Good idea, Kieran. Looking forward to somebody making a carbon frame for that. Chris Wilson has noticed that I showed my Netflix password accidentally on the last stream. My wife asked me, what's our Netflix password? And I told her in chat, and then I accidentally showed that window on the stream. Chris Wilson, you get a gold star for noticing it. We have already changed the password. So, in fact, I messaged her on the stream to say, change the Netflix password ASAP. George Dodds is talking about trying to get his TX16S to bind with his XM Plus. The receiver is bound. That's where we're at now. And he has to get the flight controller configured. He's using the Tyro 109 flight controller. The signal wire goes to RX4 and the signal wire is white. Well, none of that is right. None of that is right. What is he using? The XM Plus. Using a FreeSky receiver that outputs S-Bus. Oh man, this fucking playlist is killing me. Let's keep going. New song. I usually like millicents. Let's see if this is better. If you're using a FreeSky receiver that outputs S-Bus, you can't wire the signal wire to RX4 pad. You have to use the S-Bus pad on the F4 flight controller. For an F7 flight controller, it would be okay to use RX. Not for an F4, though. That flight controller has an S-Bus pad on the bottom, I think. Unless it's the 20 mil. It's the Tyro 109. Is that the 20 millimeter? I'm not sure. Anyway, you have to find the S-Bus pad on the FC and put the signal wire there. I think the S-Bus pad is UART2 on that flight controller. Let's see if that helps him. Bubby! Nice to see you, Bubby. Brother Hobby wants to send me motors to review and wants me to contact them. Okay. Thank you. I'm good. Jerry Goodson is introducing himself to me and joining my email list. Where can I find a link to become a patron? What a great question. Which crossfire would you recommend? He asks. Hi, Jerry. Thanks for asking about my Patreon. The link is... let me get him the actual link. Get him the link. Boom. There's the link. There's the link. For crossfire, I think the nano diversity is overkill for most FPV pilots. We're just not pushing that much range. You can go so far on the standard nano receiver that I don't think there is much point in the hassle of mounting a second antenna. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking by it. Okay. Betaflight CC3D? Oh my god. Paul Miles. Oh, we're having issues using Betaflight with PWM receivers. We've used many variants of flight controller, NACE 32, Open Pilot. No stick reaction. Yeah, what are we doing wrong? You're using hardware that's 6 years out of date. Hi, Paul. I am really sorry to say that all the hardware you have listed is super out of date. Super out of date. I would expect it to work with a freaking so on the one hand, I would expect those flight controller to work with a PWM receiver, since that was the state of the art when they were released. But on the other hand, I don't really know how to help you troubleshoot that stuff because it's so old. I barely touched it when I was just getting started, and it's been years since I even thought about it. Sorry I couldn't be more help. Boom. What's he asking here? He wants a battery recommendation. Charger and power supply. Hi, Marco. He's asking about the Q6. The ISDT Q6 is a solid charger. You can find more recommendations at my website, www.fpvknowitall.com. Boom, done, out. 66 messages. We started at 95. This guy wants me to sign up for a new type of platform where you do live events. I'm not really interested in expanding new platforms right now. Done. Andrew Brown. Finished a build. He's building the Xylo beginner build. Plugged a battery in so I could spin the motors and a FET blew on the ESC. Left ESC4 is dead. Hi, Andrew. I hope it was just bad luck. Either way, please reach out to Get FPV customer service ASAP, and hopefully they will agree it was bad luck and replace the ESC. Sorry for the inconvenience. Done. Remote ID school project review. Jonathan Neal wants me to help with a high school project about remote ID. He wants to interview me and do a Zoom call. I'm going to set that aside for now. I like helping kids do projects for high school. It feels so wholesome. I hate having to be anywhere on schedule at a certain time. I really dislike doing live interviews. I just don't like doing them. So I'm going to put that aside for now. Hey, Nightbutt, I don't think we're going to be podcasting this one. Maybe we will. JC Kaiser, people do play with simulator with HDMI in the goggles. They do. Really wish I could put this music on the stream. I think the stream's got to feel really dead with just me talking. I hope you guys are listening to some music. Nestor Zaropoulos, I'm not sure I will do a review of the Insta360 Go 2. In my heart, I'm not that interested in it. It may be a good product. I just don't feel that interested in it. And so I'm not sure I'm going to jump on it. It's $300 for an Insta360 Go. I mean, if you fly a lot of tiny whoops, it may be the perfect thing for you, but All right, here we go. 63 messages to go. Miguel Mendoza is looking for a battery for long-range cruising and longer flight times for a 7-inch. 7-inch, 1300 kV, that's 6S, right? If he's running 1300 kV, is that 6S? It's got to be, right? Here's a good rule of thumb. A good rule of thumb for battery sizing is that the battery should be no more than about 50% the dry weight of the quad. So if you have a quad that weighs, say it weighs 500 grams without battery, including the GoPro and everything, then look for a battery about 250 grams for a total weight of about 750 grams. If you are building a cruiser that doesn't need to be super acrobatic, you can push that a little up to maybe 60 to 65% of the dry weight. Past that, and you really compromise handling. Okay, that's a good rule of thumb. Brandon Rockwell has been flying FPV for about 9 months, and I'm a beacon of information and learning. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for helping me into the hobby. Spent hours and hours learning from you. Got my girlfriend asking me if I'm going to learn something today. I always do. Haha. Tell her she's going to learn something today. Ow. Today I was flying my 1S Babytooth Beta FPV 1.2S FC Crossfire near the end of the battery. It just dropped out of the sky. When I plug in the battery, I get the first 3 beeps, but not the second 2. Bummer, Brandon. Hi, Brandon. Very sorry. Oh, wait. Let's start by being nice. Thanks for the kind words, and sorry for annoying your girlfriend. It's easy to start these emails by just diving right into the question. I try to be a little bit personal and just like actually connect with the person instead of just answering the question and making it feel really perfunctory. When you get the first 3 beeps but not the last 2 beeps, it usually means the FC, the flight controller, is dead. Specifically, the 5-volt regulator that powers the FC is not working. Typically, you would just replace the FC. In some cases, it could be the wiring to the FC is damaged, so it's not getting power. But since it probably has an all-in-one flight controller and ESC, that couldn't be the case. All right, done. 62 messages. Is it possible to connect the GEPRC TinyGo controller to a sim? No, it is not. Unfortunately, no. Done. Lou Whiskus wants to know. He's been flying my F7 flight controller since the public release. It's been extremely awesome up until recently. It's been extremely awesome until recently. I had a GPS module hooked up to it. During a flight, I hit a tree, and assuming the wires between the GPS and the flight controller got pulled into one of the props and eaten. Not long after that happened, the quad dropped from the sky. I attempted to cut back the wires and turn off the GPS in beta flight. I couldn't get it connected in the field. Back at the bench, I tried to connect the flight controller again, but it wouldn't power up over USB. I tried powering from a battery, and the ESC powered up, but no flight controller. I pulled the flight controller out of the quad, disconnected all the accessories, and I still couldn't get it to power up. My guess is it's totally fried. Hi, Lou. When the flight controller won't even power up from USB, it's probably dead. You have tried pretty much everything I would try. I think it's time to replace the flight controller. Yeah. Done. Would you recommend the Happy Model Express LRS or Crossfire for longest range on my Diatone Roma 5? Says Alex. Hi, Alex. Express LRS in general is very solid, but Happy Model's hardware is brand new and still needs some time before I would trust it. Crossfire obviously is solid. If you really want to use ELRS today, the safest approach is to buy FreeSky R9 hardware and flash it. I don't want to sound like I'm slamming Happy Model, but it's just new product. You just never know. All right. This one has already... Yeah, okay. I have the ProTech 35, says Tyler Sherrod. The flight controller has a barometer on it, but it isn't turned on. What is it for? Should I use it? Tyler. Does the ProTech 35 have a barometer? Let's look it up. If I copy a duplicate quad, can I copy all the same info into Betaflight and it should work? That is correct, MBG. If it's identical, just copy the CLI dump. Barometer. It has a barometer. So it does have a barometer. So why is it not activated? All right, Tyler. I agree the product listing for that FC says it has a barometer. Is it enabled in the Betaflight configuration tab? There's a setting in the sensors section. Are you saying it's just turned off? Sure, turn it on. See if the barometer indicator at the top of the configurator configurator window turns yellow. And then go into the sensors tab and see if the barrel is outputting data. Excuse me, I should really have a drink. Conrad Young wants to know about the placement of DJI V2 antennas. I got a set of Axie HD patches with the Omni. I'm not too impressed. I can't find much info on what the connector is doing what on the new V2 goggles. Hi, Conrad. People are still testing the V2 goggles to see what's best. I think the way I have heard is best so far is to put the patch antenna on the top left and bottom right connector when looking at the goggles from the front. Okay, boom. Would they have similar range? Express LRS has much greater range than Crossfire, all assuming equal transmit power, because ELRS uses smaller packets, and is just more efficient with its spectrum use. But Crossfire has more range than most people ever think about needing. Like, Crossfire goes 50 kilometer and Express LRS goes 100 kilometers. Who cares at that point? Yeah. Jaber Al-Baloshi says, I'm a beginner in FPV drones world. I started flying with simulators. I've got Radiomaster TX16S with Crossfire and 2 Beta FPV brushless and HD. I'm so bored flying indoor in small places, and I'm a little bit handling the acro mode, so I have been through the iFlight Protect 25 review from your channel. I like the stability and medium power of that drone. Will you guide me? Is it good for me as a beginner, or do you have any suggestions for drones as beginners so I can crash it many times? Hi, Jaber. Like I say in the review of the ProTech, I think the prop guards are not very durable, so maybe it's not ideal for beginners. If you took the prop guards off and flew it outdoors, it could be okay. But there are tons of other 2.5-inch and 3-inch Cinewhoops that might be better. What about a tiny trainer from 533 Racing? Well, he may not be able to get that in Europe. No, there's a European distributor. It's a really good and durable 3-inch quadcopter. Not a Cinewhoop, but maybe you'd like it. Yeah, okay. Where should I store my lipos? Should I store them in the lipo bag? I mean, it can't hurt, Tekage. The best place to store them is somewhere fireproof, like the fireplace. Lucas Celeste says, I'm experiencing something I've never seen before. I've uploaded a screen recording of it on YouTube. All right, Celeste, what is happening? Let's see what this is doing. What's he doing? Has this got audio? I don't know if this has audio. I don't think it has audio. What are you showing me? I can't tell what's happening. I can't tell what's happening. Is there really no audio? There's no audio. Is he... you can't drag it? He's on configurator 10.7.0. I have no idea, bro. I guess he's saying he can't drag it. I think what he's saying is when he tries to drag it, it highlights. I have no idea. I've never seen that before. Yeah, he's having trouble dragging the element. Hi, Lucas. I have honestly never seen that happen before. I guess, so whenever I'm stuck on an answer to a question, I just ask myself, what would I do if this was happening to me? And then I tell them that. I guess what I would do is uninstall and reinstall the configurator. See if that helps. Has he already done that? Yeah, he explained it in the email. Thank you, Tuho Tomi FPV, for a €5.49 super chat. Greetings from Finland. Thank you very much for your super chat. Bubby, you coming to Freedom Hills? I'll be there. Better solution for your DJI FPV goggles from Mike Pistol Selzy. Yeah, I like that a lot better. It's a hook instead of a... It's a hook instead of the screw. Yeah, this is way better than that screw that Blunny showed. I like this way better. Very versatile. I love it. I'm going to print one right now. Thanks for passing this on. Thanks for passing that on, Mike. I like it better than the screw thing Blunty showed. More versatile. Done. Down to 55. 56? 56 emails. Is it possible to have the same starting sound that comes from the DJI drone in our freestyle quads? Hi, Rocks. I know a lot of people are asking that question. For now, I think the answer is no. There you go. Boom. Done. There's a race at Freedom Hills, Texas, or Freedom Hills, Tennessee, coming up. Maybe I should be promoting it. Should I be promoting it? Kirk Keating says, hey, Joshua, apologies if this was already answered. I couldn't find it in your videos. Do you know if the DJI FPV remote controller 2 is compatible with Caddx Vista? Yeah. Hi, very common question. The V2 controller is not compatible with the Vista and Air unit. Kirk, sorry for the bad news. Yep, not compatible. Oh, I'm going to be on a panel for the Boston Drone Film Festival on the 20th. It's this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I believe. So I guess I should respond that I'm going. Put it on my calendar. It's going to be me, Paul Nerkala, a few other people whose names don't ring a bell for me. We're talking about the future of FPV. So, boom. Message cleared. 54 to go. Yeah, I wouldn't put 6-inch on a 1606 motor. That's not what he's suggesting. Okay. Herbert P.A. Van Marley wants me to look at a picture. 2303. Have I got my live stream name? Oh. I think he's pointing out that one of my live streams is named incorrectly. Let's see. March 23rd. March 23rd, March 22nd. March 22nd, March 21st, March 21st. I don't know what the problem is. I can't listen to songs I've done freestyle edits to anymore. After I've done the freestyle edit to it, I can't listen to it for fun. I have to switch that song. Okay. What is he showing me? 0100. No, it's just... Oh, I see. Hi, Herbert. I think the issue is the time zone you're in. It'll be the 22nd for me, but 1 a.m. the 23rd for you. No mistake, sort of. Okay, problem solved. Oh, my goodness. All right. Now he wants more information about R9. I don't know. What's the range of R9 if it's not flashed with Express LRS? It's worth figuring out how to flash it. Not a big fan of the hassle of setting up R9 and getting compatible firmware on the receiver and module. If I had R9 hardware, I would probably flash Express LRS to it. As for range, R9 is also more range than most people need. Okay. Flight controller gimbal gummy installation tip for you and your viewers from Eric Lemoyne. Hope this finds you well watching your ultralight build on YouTube. There's an easier way to install the gummies. Use a bit of small gauge wire. I know that trick. I just like the pokey trick because the wire is... Yeah, okay. I'm familiar. All right. No response needed. Ruben Parlevliet cannot activate the DJI goggles V2. Hi, Ruben. Unfortunately, that method seems to not be working for many people. I don't have any more information about what to do at this point. The only thing I can say is contact DJI support, parentheses, who are generally useless and sometimes give incorrect information, but hey, what can you do? And contact the store you bought the goggles from and say, I can't activate them. What should I do? Yeah, I don't know what to say. Nazgul V5 issues from Jeff Elmore. I was messaging you about the video blacking out with no OSD on the Nazgul V2. I think it's the iFlight flight controller that's causing the problem. I got a replacement, set it up exactly like the original. It had strange motor stuttering. I spent hours trying to figure out what I did wrong. I'm finished with that flight controller. I would like to buy one of yours from Race Day Quads. Which one would be the most suitable replacement? I guess it's time for me to learn how to solder. Hi, Jeff. I would suggest getting the JBF7. I believe it should have a compatible ESC plug with the existing ESC on the Nazgul, but double check the pinout is the same before you power them up and fry something. Great. Question answered. Jerry Goodson says, Betaflight is relatively new to me, but your videos on Betaflight have been educational. How does anyone fly quads without learning what makes them tick? I must say it is without a doubt overwhelming and intimidating. Thanks for the input. Oh, great. No question. Just a little message from Jerry. Boom. Message cleared. 48 to go. Mike Bergman, those messages are fine. Oh, I can't let your messages through. Bubby, I gotta say, no hard feelings, Bubby. I would have let those messages through. I mean, I agree with Mike Bergman that this DJI the V2 goggle is kind of a shit show right now. I totally agree. Not being able to activate the product, shit show. I understand why you moderated those, Bubby, but I mean, Mike is 100% right. Especially for a late night stream, it's fine to say shit show. Denise Nesil from Austria says, I watch your videos. I'm a subscriber. I have some crazy ideas in FPV to make it better, safer, and I need your help. All right, Denise. What kind of ideas have you got? I got to say, no slight to Denise, but 99% of the time when someone emails me and says, I've got this great new idea, it's going to change the world, the idea is not that great, or it's already been done, or there's a really good reason why it hasn't been done. But I'm always give it a chance. A plea from an enthusiast. Scott M. writes, I would like to request your expertise. I'm an American living in Kenya, volunteering at a hospital northeast of Nairobi. Watching your videos got me hooked on FPV. I used to build and break radio-controlled cars, etc., etc. Getting supplies is hard. Yeah. I ordered all the components from DJI, thinking it should be the most plug-and-play possible. Got the DJI goggles, controller, air unit, T-Motor Pro stack. All the parts arrived. I put the drone together. Soldered everything up. Everything went smoothly. I got all the motors running. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Programmed a GPS unit. Couldn't get the DJI FPV controller to talk to Betaflight. S-Bus baud fast on. Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's something simple. Hi, Scott. You've done really good to get this far. The whole time I was reading your email, I was waiting for you to say, quote, and then the whole thing lit on fire. And you never did. So congratulations. Getting the receiver to work is a common struggle, but I'm sure we can do it. The air unit plugs right into that flight controller, so there's no risk of soldering up the wire wrong. Let's look up the T-Motor DJI HD stack. Has he got the F7? What did he say he bought? F4 F Pro stack. T-Motor F4 DJI stack. Dagnabbit. There we go. Chris FPV. Yeah, the Chris FPV, if you want 48K PWM, can you not just turn off the auto PWM? I guess setting the low and the high both to 48K would lock it in. But I would think you could just turn it off. I haven't looked yet. Where's the manual? Where's the manual? Thanks a lot. This is not helpful. Where's a frickin' pinout? No. No. Yes. All right. What's the pinout on this thing? Is it RX2? TX2, RX2, and S-Bus. What UART is S-Bus? Damn you. What UART is S-Bus? Oh, here we go. UART 5, I'm going to guess. If that's what's on by default. Is on UART. As far as I can tell, the S-Bus wire coming in from air unit is on UART 5 on that flight controller. Can you check the ports tab to make sure serial RX is enabled for UART 5? That's where okay. Thanks for the kind words from Flying in Braille FPV. I commented on his video. He's very happy I commented on his video. Done. Looks like there's no offsetting, says Chris FPV, just a high and a low bar. Okay. No update on the RX bat issue, Davey Spiker. There is an option to change it, but if it's not working for you, you have to contact TBS at that point. Joshua Brown has the Tyro 119. Stop it. He's trying to get the Eachine GPS F4. What is this? Oh, well, you didn't set up. He didn't set up. No. Have you got. Can I see your ports tab? The video transmitter. Hi, Joshua. Can I see your ports tab, please? His video transmitter tab was blank, which suggests he hasn't enabled smart audio in the ports tab. So that's what I'm going to ask him for a screenshot. iFlight ProTech 25. Oh, Mark Dibble. This is... it's really not helpful. So here's Mark Dibble's message right here. And then Mark Dibble replies, but he changes the subject line so it doesn't get threaded. And now you can see why I would have trouble putting those things together. Protect 25 and a motor burned up. Came loose and broke a propeller. Oh, I don't know. Oh, this is the 5th drone he's attempted to purchase. All are defective. How is it possible that every drone we order from Amazon is bad? Oof, this is going to be a tough one. I don't know what you've ordered. You probably ordered like 4 terrible drones. The ProTech is solid, but I don't know why. Yeah. That's what I would do. Hi, Mark. iFlight drones are supposed to have a warranty. I would definitely... what's the iFlight Fresh Desk? iFlightRC.freshdesk.com, is that it? Yeah. I would definitely open a ticket on iFlight's help desk website and see if they will make this right. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah. I'm not even going to touch that whole I bought 5 drones, all are defective. Because that's, I mean, I don't know if you bought some crappy, cheap-ass drone or if you bought buying good ones, but yeah. 41 messages to go. Started at 95 messages. We're counting them down, folks. Started at 1:45 a.m. Oh, my God. We're an hour and 15 minutes in. It's not that bad, though. Ahmad Likari says, need a weird favor. Hope you can help. This could be a dangerous one to read on the live stream. It's super difficult to source FPV stuff in India. I want DJI goggles. I have a cousin traveling from Atlanta to India on the 21st. Can you help me get a set of goggles? Hi, Ahmad. I don't have a set of goggles to sell, unfortunately. I would say just keep an eye on the stores and hope you find somebody who has them in stock. I'm just not even getting in the middle of that. Not even getting in the middle of that. Thank you, Texas APV, for a $10 super chat. World-changing comment alert. Can you think about doing a range test flight time video on the Flywoo 4-inch with the 18650 bat and then the normal LiPo? Yeah, I mean, the flight time on the 18650 is like 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. I can't remember what. And a normal LiPo, it tops out closer to 20, 25 minutes at most. So significantly longer flight time on the 18650. That's the short version. What's going on here? Painting. Oh, hi, Sebastian. Sebastian is an amazing artist. He did the art for my portrait in Liftoff, the Xbox Liftoff. I asked him to do a custom portrait for me. He's emailing me about it. Okay, I'm going to keep the contents of that one private. LQ and the DJI goggles from Monty Peak. Hate bugging you with this. Last night you answered a question about getting LQ and the DJI goggles. I can't find the link you sent. Ooh, flashed Express LRS, but still getting RSSI in the goggles, and it's always on 99. Hi, Monty. The link I sent works only for Crossfire. I bet ELRS has a similar function, but I couldn't say for sure exactly how to do it. Here is the Crossfire link as a reference in case it helps. Crossfire LQ DJI. Here's the video. Boom. Boom. Done. We're down to 39. Oh boy. So this guy's trying to get current sensing working on an X-rotor. I guess the current scale must be wrong. Do I have a video about how to calibrate the current sensor in Betaflight? Oh, yeah, I do. Here's how to do it. Good, I got it. Here's a video for how to calibrate it. But if it is way off, it may... You should end up with a scale value between about... what's the typical current scale value for Betaflight? I think it should be between about 100 and 400. If you are way out of that range, then something else is up. Okay. Let's see. Private Island FPV says, do you think the quest to answer every email will ever need to come to an end? I don't know, man. So far, so good. I'm not as prompt as I used to be. I used to clear my inbox 1 or 2 times a day, 2 or 3 times a day. Now it's sometimes I don't get to the emails. If I have a really busy day, I don't even answer the emails for 1 day. That's why I'm at 90. I started at 95 today instead of like 60. James Johnson wants info about how to transport the quad inside the bag. A case. Would I choose the Betaflight backpack or the Torval pit stop? Hi, Jim. The Betaflight bag, I think that the Betaflight bag is discontinued. Is the Betaflight bag still made? Does anybody know? So that may be a moot point. The Torval does not have a ton of room inside to hold quads, although if you only wanted to carry the controller, the goggles, and the drone, you could probably make it work. Okay. Cyclone FPV still sells the Betaflight bag? Really? I think the Betaflight bag is more roomy. But I have had a hard time finding it in stock. I think Cyclone FPV has it. Okay, there we go. Thank you, guys. James Johnson, another question. Oh. Nope, same question. Great. 36 messages to go. What's the new AU line bag look like? Slipper FPV. I have it. I'm still deciding. I'm still deciding my opinion of it. It didn't suck. I thought it was going to be like really shitty quality. Like from the pictures, it looked like the material was really cheap. It didn't feel that way when I first took it out. So it's the AU line bag passed the first glance check. Now I'm trying to think a little more. Thank you, Sir Titan, for a $5 super chat. Thoughts of DJI FPV for a beginner cinematic? I don't. If you want a cinematic drone, buy a Mavic Mini. It's not going to handle like the, or buy a Mavic, you know, buy a Mavic 2. The DJI FPV is, it's got more performance than those, but is going to, as a beginner, I'm not sure. I don't know. Do you want FPV? I guess if you buy a Mavic, you're not getting FPV. If you want to get into FPV and you're a beginner, it's so much money. It's so much money. I think you should bite the bullet, learn how to do Betaflight, and buy a Bind and Fly. But if you have a lot of money and you just don't want all that BS, the DJI FPV will get you in the air. All right, I'm starting to droop, so I got to do emails. Sir Titan. I guess you could just watch my review. John Smith has been flying FPV for about a year. I own 2 quads. One is a Mr. Croc 7-inch. One is a Mobula 6. I love the Mobula 6. I can't get the 7-inch in the air. The 7-inch drone fails to arm. I've already answered this question. This is a duplicate. Great. Boom. Done. 35 to go. I just had Lawrence Campbell says the goggles V2 debacle continues. He had a problem with Mac OS and DJI Assistant. Yep, wouldn't work. Oh, Lawrence has a suggestion for people using... Okay, I'm going to forward this to Blunty for the news. Or maybe I'll make a... yeah. There's a known issue with an extension that DJI uses. That's why it's not working on macOS. We'll put that in the news. Done. Thank you. Thank you. Done. Defiance RC has new products. Done. 32 to go. John Roast bought my parallel charging board. He's a beginner. He's learning how to parallel charge. Very risky. But he seems like, yeah. I warned him to, if he bought my parallel charging board as a beginner, he should be really, really careful to be safe. Boom. Message deleted. John Mensa. His quad is desyncing. All he did was change the motor and it desynced. Not right after that, he changed it a couple of flights with a new motor. He tried better ESC settings, but that didn't help. You shouldn't need to change your ESC settings. Starting to think it's a hardware problem. I said, what motivated you to change the motor in the first place? The bearing was locking up and I needed to clean it. Typically, if you had a locked up motor, you replace the motor and the new motor is also having problems. I would suspect the ESC. I mean, the locked up bearing couldn't have been caused by the ESC, but maybe you have more than one thing failing at once. It feels like a cop-out answer to just say replace the ESC. I feel like there's information we're not getting here. Joseph Peterson has 2 TBS transmitters and receivers. I'm trying to set up 2 cameras, one facing forward, the other looking down. I looked at the V-Fly. It does not have crossfire protocol. Can you help me with this? Thank you. The V-Fly what? Huh? Hi, Joseph. Can you give me some more information about the equipment you're using? What V-Fly equipment are you using with crossfire? This makes no sense. Joshua, I do have a Joshua Bardwell cheater quad. I do have a cheater quad. Here's my cheater quad tutorial. Here is my cheater quad video where I did what you are wanting to do. Boom. Bubby says the sim makes him a worse pilot. Yeah, Bubby, if you're a total beginner, the sim makes you a better pilot. Once you get to a certain level of skill, the sim makes you worse because you learn to the sim, not to real life. But the sim can still be a good way to work out new tricks. Gary Trinks wants to know, can you record directly to DJI Air unit without the goggles? No, you cannot. Hi, Gary. You cannot record to the Air unit without the goggles. As far as I know, the record button is on the goggles. I guess you can set up the Air unit to auto record when you arm the quad. So maybe it would start recording when you armed, even if the goggles were off. I'm actually not sure about that. Anybody know in the chat? If you give it a try, let me know. I'm trying to learn to fly FPV, but my learning curve has not been proficient. I can fly my quad in acro mode, but not in FPV mode. Do quad simulators help smooth the learning curve? I do think that sims help smooth the learning curve for flying FPV. It just takes stick time. I suggest Velocidrone if you are interested in racing. or liftoff for just a general fun flying simulator? Adam Clark, down to 28 messages. Down from 95 at the beginning. Oscillations in GoPro footage. Thanks for everything you do for the FPV community. I was going to reach out with a problem and then donate once we looked into the issue, but then I thought, wait, you've already helped me in so many ways. I'd be embarrassed coming to you without having supported you in some way. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, but also I don't really pay attention to that. As you can see from this live stream, I don't pay attention to whether someone is supporting me or not, but I do appreciate it. Thank you for sending. He sent some money over PayPal. My quad. Super G, 6S, Acon F7, Acon 4-in-1 ESC, X Nova Smoothline motors, 1700 kV, total weight with GoPro 9, 779 grams. That's a chonker, but with a GoPro 9, what are you going to do? I have high frequency oscillations that are causing my GoPro footage to blur and buzz when I boost the throttle. Here are a couple examples of the problem. Okay, we're going to watch these videos and we're going to see how freaking bad these oscillations are. On some level, I think they're going to be... Let's see. Am I on, like, max quality? 1440p. Okay, great. Oh, we go 4K? Nah. High frequency. We got Jello? Is that what we're looking at? Where is it? Do you see it? Stream? I'm not seeing anything. I mean, YouTube could be hiding it, but he thinks it's in this video. I'm going to turn his audio off. It would really be nice to hear the motors when you do this kind of thing. I don't see any Jello. I mean, you guys are watching this on a 4 megabit per second stream. So, I mean, it's not looking as good for you as it is for me. But I don't see any Jello at all. All right. Let's see. What's he got to say? Yeah. The cinematic FPV clip. When I come out of the valley ditch. Is that the cinematic FPV? Where's the valley ditch? What's a valley ditch? This must be the ditch. Oh, what just happened? Wait a minute. Nice motion blur. Beautiful motion blur. This color grade is very nice. This color grade's very nice, and the motion blur is very nice. There it was. Look, what just happened here? It got super blurry, didn't it? Is it always blurry like this? Why are these trees so blurry? That's not vibration, though. I mean, he's got plenty of motion blur. Thelemon energy. There's tons of motion blur when he gets close to the ground. He does not need an ND filter. Like you can see motion blur already on these trees. Look at that motion blur on the tree. He does not need an ND filter. This is plenty blur. Oh, he hit a tree there. So here we have motion blur. I guess the tree is just... Why are these trees so blurry? They're not moving. I think he has a problem with his lens. There's no reason for these trees to be blurry like that. That's not vibration, though. He's just got a problem with his camera. That's what I think. Very interesting. Is it always blurry? Yeah, like, look. Why are these trees so blurry? Like, the focus on the camera is off. There's no reason for these trees to look like that. Same here. Look right here. This is super blurry. I don't think it's vibration. I think he's just got the focus of his camera is off. Hi, Adam. I spent some time looking at your footage. Your color grade is really amazing, and the motion blur on your the motion blur is very nice. Always say something positive if you can. My best guess, I am seeing some parts of the frame that are sharp and other parts, mostly far away trees, that are blurry. If it was vibration causing the issue, the whole frame would be blurry. I think your GoPro is out of focus. That's my best guess. That's my best guess. All right, that's an interesting one. They're willow trees, huh? You think the codec's breaking up, Ian Cresswell? That's just my guess. I don't think it's vibration. That's just, I mean, I could be wrong. He'll come back and he'll tell me I'm wrong. But for now, moving on. Okay, now this guy has a really weird problem. He has a Crossfire module in an X9D, and the link quality is 100%. On his Crossfire module, link quality 100%. He puts that exact same module into a Radio Master, and the link quality goes down to 37%. I wonder, oh, you can manually adjust telemetry sensors. Can you try this? In the TX16S, go to the telemetry screen and delete all sensors. Then discover new sensors and let them get discovered again. You can manually adjust the scale of a telemetry sensor, and I wonder if the sensors somehow got messed up on the TX16S. Alternatively, try making a new model in the TX16S and discover new sensors again. All right. 26 messages to go. Oh. Now, bad battery wouldn't cause link quality to be off. This is a guy just thanking me for the answer to my question. Done. Another thank you. Done. 24 messages to go. This person has the voltage. This person is, the voltage is, yeah. I think something is wrong with the voltage sense circuit on your flight controller. I just don't see any other reason for it to read so far off and then not to update. Okay. Walter Ward. No. Yeah. Yeah. Then we're going to let that one go. 22 messages to go. Brandon Woodford is asking about putting a capacitor on a Cadix Vista. He's running a 1000 microfarad 35 volt on the ESC leads. Do you need to add a 220 microfarad at the Cadix pads? I think the 1000 microfarad on the ESC should be okay. If you wanted to add another one directly on the Cadix, I doubt it would hurt. But probably wouldn't be necessary. This guy has bricked his Horus X12S. Yeah, he's going to put OpenTX on his X12. Good. Problem solved. Done. 20 messages to go. Brooke Levin is asking if he should return. He bought the DJI FPV goggles to fly with his Mavic. That obviously won't work. He's wanting to know if he should return them. Can't get the goggles to work. Can't get them to connect to it, but eventually I want to learn how to solder. Hence, I didn't. Any help would be appreciated. What other questions? Should I return the goggles? What do you recommend to get a controller and parts? Here are the parts I would suggest starting with if you want to get into FPV with the DJI digital FPV system. This is a build tutorial that I created in partnership with Get FPV. They have suggested accessories such as controllers, battery, charger on the product page. There we go. Yeah. At the very least, check out the tutorial videos and you will get a sense of what you have to do to build an FPV drone. Okay, here's a response from Joshua Brown. His OSD settings won't stay set. He's having the font error. Change the font, save, then I go back and it goes back to the default font. Betaflight, OSD font. I think I have a video about that. Joshua Bardwell. Upload font not working. Bingo. I got a video about that. Hi, Joshua. The upload font not working. Here is a video explaining that. Done. What are we trying to fix? It doesn't even read the VTX. Okay, so wait. So has he enabled smart audio in his ports tab? He has. So why does his video transmitter tab blank? I can see that you have enabled smart audio in your ports tab. At that point, I'm not sure why the video transmitter tab is total. Oh no, he must not have loaded the VTX table. The next thing to do is load your VTX table for your video transmitter. What is this video transmitter? What's his video transmitter? So that's the next question. What video transmitter do you have? Okay. All right, here's another thank you. Done. 18 to go. Oh, man. This is a tough one. I don't know what to say about it. This guy's he built my Xylo build and it's death rolling when he flips. And yeah. He loses video when it happens. Yikes. When you lose video, does it go to static or black screen? I always ask that because static would indicate loss of power. Marco is asking about power supply for his charger. What you want to do is take the output watt rating of the charger and make sure the power supply is at least that big or larger. That will let you maximize the output of the charger. You can use a lower output PSU if you don't intend to use the full output of the charger. Most of the time when charging FPV packs, you only use like 100 to 200 watts at most. But I always like to have a power supply that is bigger than I need. Okay. Okay. 17 messages to go. Another thank you. No questions. Jake Wright says, thanks for your posts. Thank you. Still new to drones. Big thanks from Dublin, Ireland. And no question. Just thank you. Thank you, Jake. MDT has a fried... Oh, here's just a thank you message again. Done. 14 messages to go. Have you done a video on learning to fly with an action cam? I'm just getting around to flying with a GoPro. The extra weight is challenging. Hi, Steve. I don't have a video specifically about adjusting to the weight of an action cam. Just be conservative with your moves, and remember you have to get on the throttle earlier in a dive or you'll hit the ground. When cornering, be more aggressive with the throttle to push through turns, and just take time to get used to how the drone moves with the extra weight. With time, adjusting to the way that different weights of quadcopter handle will become second nature. Done. Oh, Garen Schooning says, I spent all day watching videos to install Betaflight. When I get there, there's nothing to point me in the direction of what to do next. Your video is a perfect example of the BS I experienced all day. Then I plug in the flight controller, and what? Do I plug it in while it's still in the copter? Should it be powered up? And if so, should my transmitter be on, or should it all be unplugged and removed? I can't get this thing to arm itself. So my question is, can Betaflight tune the DJI Wukong Autopilot Mark II IOSD and 2.4 ground station Hobbywing Platinum 30 amp opto blah blah blah? I've been all over the internet the past month trying everything. Do you know anything when local? I need to fly by Easter. I'm desperate. So it's really easy to get pissed off, to feel a little pissed off. I watched your video. Your video is BS, but it's also, you got to be empathetic to the anger and frustration this guy's feeling. So he's in Sacramento, California. He asked, what can I do to help him? He asked for, is there anybody local who can help me out? So I could try to help him out over email, but he's kind of pissed off and past that. So let's look for a Sacramento chapter. Where the hell is Sacramento? Up north. Yeah, you better believe there's freaking chapters in Sacramento. Okay. Sacramento. Geez, there's a ton. All right, so here is Sacramento Multi-GP. Now, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Mark my words, because I've been through this before. Somebody like this is super pissed off. They're super angry. And I go, take it easy. I've been there. He's frustrated. Let's help him out. I put him in contact with the local club. They meet up with him, try to help him out. It turns out he's just an angry jerk. Now, I'm not saying this about specifically Garen Schooning. I don't know. I've had this happen before. And I'm like, hey, whatever happened? I say to the local multi-GP chapter president, I say, hey, dude, what happened to that guy? Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I tried to help him. He wouldn't listen. He's an asshole. Like, oh, so I don't know. That's what happens. But I'm gonna try and help Garen. Hey there, Garen. The hobby can be super frustrating. I get it. There is so much information to gather, and even a super detailed tutorial like mine, haha, toot my own horn, can't include every piece of information that you need to know. You asked to hook up with a local chapter. There is a Sacramento multi-GP chapter. Here is a link to their chapter page. Chapter page. Contact info should be there. Okay. There we go. Well, Mike Bergman, if he does want someone to do it for him, he says he has money, so maybe he'll pay someone to do it for him. You know, hey, more power to him. My goal with every interaction is to give you at least one thing to move you forward closer to a solution. So if you ask me 5 questions, I might not answer all 5 of them, but I'm going to try and answer one of them, or give you an action item that you can do to help you get closer to a solution. So in this case, he said, I can't get my receiver working. I can't get Betaflight working. He asked 20 different questions. I don't want to answer all of them. The one thing he said that I can help him with is to get him in contact with somebody local. That seems like the most pressing thing. Now I've done one thing for him, and I'll move on to the next email. 11 to go. Cali Drone Killer got the goggles to work. Blah, blah, blah. Now my quad will not arm. And the receiver blinks red, then green. Your Crossfire receiver is blinking red, then green? Is it going into failsafe? I don't know. I'm not sure what you're describing. David Erpelding. His RXSR died. The blue LED doesn't come on. If you flashed access firmware to the RXSR, then the blue LED won't come on, but that's normal. It's operating normally. You get a solid green and red. Can you get a solid green LED on the RXSR? That would indicate it was bound. We created a... Okay, so that's the thing. That's the next thing we need to work on is getting him bound. Andre Lehman has my ESCN flight controller. Yeah, he's tripping his smoke stopper. Hi, Andre. The motor beeps can trip the smoke stopper. Remember, the smoke stopper trips when excess current flows. Motor beeps pull current so they can trip it. This doesn't indicate that anything is necessarily wrong. Yeah. Make sure the smoke stopper is set on the maximum amps setting to minimize this, but it still might trip. Okay. Okay. This one's thank you. Malik can register and bind, but is not having telemetry working. Telemetry's not working. What's the problem? He wants, I see. So he needs to get SmartPort working. Can you remind me, are you using F-Port or S-Bus? Yeah, that's what we need to know. 6 to go. Robert Jensen says, thanks for getting back to me. The receiver was showing a solid green light on the RXSR. There was never a blinking red light. I've been messing with it for over a week. I'm confused as to which firmware I have. At the startup, the screen says it's expected to run a different version than I thought. I ordered a quad with an RXSR, but I think they put an XM Plus in it. Well, that doesn't really matter. I guess the bottom line is, do you have a solid green LED now on the receiver that is currently in the quad? That's what we need to know. Is it bound? Brian Rowe thinks he has a bad ESC He's building his first DJI drone after wiring everything up. I'm only getting 3.17 volts to the flight controller from the ESC. Huh? 3.17? Where are you measuring 3.17 volts? Oh, on the VBAT input. Huh? What? Are you sure? No, there's no voltage regulator. Huh? Yeah. Hi, Brian. There's no voltage regulator involved in passing VBAT from the ESC to the flight controller. Can you measure at the pins on the other end of the wiring harness just to be sure nothing is going weird with where you're touching the probes? Yeah, I also agree. I agree. You should see 16 volts or whatever VBAT is there. Yeah, it's effed up. Okay. Yes, he has a solid green LED on the receiver that's currently in the quad. Okay, next step. Okay. Next, let's check the wiring, please. Can I see a photo of the wires coming out of the receiver and a photo of where they connect to the flight controller? All right. Rotorites sent this guy a quadcopter with a receiver in it. I guarantee you they tested that receiver before they shipped it. And then he got it and it didn't work. And his first thought was, oh, that's a bad receiver. So he rips the receiver out and he replaces the receiver. And now we don't know where the wires go. Did he put the wires back correctly? He made the situation worse. People jump to these conclusions. 4 emails to go. Bubby, don't go anywhere. 4 emails to go, Bubby. Don't leave me. We're 4 emails from the end. Stick with me. Stick it out, Bubby. Don't leave me. All right. Diatone GTR 349. We've got a Bound XM Plus. Oh, well, there's your problem. Derp. You have Serial RX disabled. Okay, on a Diatone, it's UART1 for S-Bus, right? I think so. Okay, so there's your problem. I always ask people for photos. You don't have Serial RX enabled on any UART. I think I'll try to hurry, Bubby. S-Bus is UART1 on the Diatone FC, so enable Serial RX on UART1 and see if that starts working. Yep. Okay. Okay, 6. How are we up to 6? Stop it. Stop sending me emails, John Pearson. Malik Shah. What are we looking at? Blue LED on a RXSR receiver. Press hold option menu. What are we... Malik, I have no effing idea what conversation we're even having. Moving on. DJI Goggles V2. Kali Drone Killer got the Goggles V2. He can't get them to work. It only shows 4 channels and they won't bind. I activated them, but I didn't want to go to version 606. The 1200 milliwatt. Hi, Kali. The 1200 milliwatt hack definitely does work. I would say flash to the latest firmware and see if that helps. That helps. You have activated the goggles. You only see 4 channels because they're... Can you go to the About Device About menu and switch them from DJI FPV drone mode to the FPV Air Unit Vista mode? Yeah. 2 to go. Zach Zamberger. Acro doesn't feel locked in. It seems eager to pitch in what direction you point it, but sluggish on correcting. It seemed much more controllable and locked in. What else could I check into? Oh, I see. This is the same message. The quad is loose in acro mode. I don't know. quad is loose in acro mode. Let's look at his video. Last one. This is the last one, guys. Last one. It feels loose. Without being able to see the sticks, it's so hard to judge this. He's turning right. Then what happens? And then it fail-safed. That looks like a fail-safe to me. It looked like a fail-safe to me. Hi, Zach. To me, that video looks like the quad fail-safed. Did you lose control? Did it stop responding to the sticks? Yeah, that was a fail-safe. All right. We're going to call that. I mean, there's still a few unread emails. A lot. Oh my God, there's so many. Going back all the way to March 7th. Like, what is this message from John Pearson on March 7th? How is that still in my inbox? I don't know. We're going to call that 0, though. And we're going to call it a night. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. 2 hours. 2 hours to answer 100 emails. So you do the math. Good night, everybody. It's going to be the end of the stream. See you tomorrow.